Hi, I'm Mark Bryant. Welcome to another edition of our baseball preview series for Big South 2026. Very happy to turn now to head coach of the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, Karl Kuhn. Karl, thanks for being here.
Absolutely, Mark. Thanks for having us.
Well, last year, good year for the Buccaneers. Got far, came up just short, but a 30-win season. How do you build on that success, and what do you take away from a performance like that going into a new year?
Well, loaded question. There were two parts there. So very happy about the way we played in the back part of the season, and then the end of the season. You know, I was talking to Joe Healy earlier, and love the adversity. You don't want to go through it, but the adversity is what makes you stronger. And if you use it the right way, it can be a great educator. And credit to you guys to start the season. It was a really good matchup. Week one, High Point had a great record. Charleston Southern had a great record, and we squared off at their place, and we laid an egg and dropped 0-3, and then the next weekend we'd go to 0-6 against Upstate, and if we didn't go through that, right, and then we rattle off 14, and if you didn't go through that, then you would not have figured out who your team is, and coming out of that adversity is basically what allowed us to play well late. Grateful for that. I don't know if we need to build on anything. I think we need to try to sustain it, It just didn't win the last one or two games, right? And Upstate did, and credit to them. But I like our ball club. I like where we are. I like where we are coming out of the end of the fall and then going into the spring. Knocking on wood, we're healthy, right? And that's what everybody prays to be. But really very proud of being a part of a 30-win season. I think it's the second time it's happened at Charleston Southern, and happy for the boys that were part of it, can say they were part of it, and are coming back to try to sustain it.
As we head straight into a new year here, what have you been emphasizing in the preseason practice, and are there any particular areas of improvement you've been targeting?
Not really with the improvement. Emphasizing the leadership that we had that got us out of an 0-6 hole, that got us to the championship game. And we've got the spine of that club back, and I want those guys to begin to take ownership and lead this club to where it needs to go, to where we were at the end of last year. So nothing more than that. I want them to take ownership and lead the club the rest of the way, because if they're doing it, man, it makes our job a lot easier as coaches, but it gives them some great ownership.
Well, you talk about that core. So what have you got in terms of the roster for returners and veterans versus newcomers? And are there any areas needing retooling or adjusting with that?
We've got the spine coming back on defense and offense. We've got Lucas Pringle back for his 5th year of college baseball, and he was our catcher for the last 3. Up the spine, we've got our shortstop back in Nathan Martinez, and we've got our center fielder back in Kane Collins. So, we feel like we've got the spine pretty well taken care of. First base, Chandler Tupou has been in the Big South for 4 years. It feels like 7 years, but he's been here, and he's a staple in the conference. And we have our starting third baseman back in Blake Edgman. So feel very, very good about where we are from an offensive and defensive standpoint. Pitching-wise, I think we've got a couple guys back. We lost Matt Gallant. He had a great freshman season 2 years ago, and ended up pitching in the 1-1 game against Upstate 2 years ago, and had an arm injury. We didn't have him last year, so he's back. And he's with us here today, and I'm looking for great things off of him. He's just such a very calming presence. And we've got Tyler Henshaw back, who is second-team All-Conference, and I feel really good about what we've added on the mound. Around all of the guys that were coming back from last year's club, I feel really, really good about what we added on the mound.
Let's break down a couple aspects of that as we talk about offensive production, where the hitting is coming from. Is there like a big three, or who are the bats that are the Buccaneers this year?
Whoever gets hot, those are the bats. I would look for big things out of Lucas Pringle. I'd look for big things out of Chandler Tupou, and Kane Collins. He's got to set our table. He really does. guys. And if he can set our table and be productive, getting on base for the other guys to eat big off the table, then we're going to be fine offensively. The bottom part of the order last year was really our story. I know it sounds kind of weird to say, but Blake Edgman hit 9th for us, and he had a .450 on base percentage. So he really turned the order over for the guys that could drive those other guys in at the top of the order. So I think that answers our question there. But like I said, we're going to have to replace McCaskey at the 5-hole and 12 home runs, and A.J. Martin with 12 home runs in the middle. But I'm not really concerned about chasing those numbers that are lost. We've got great kids, and I think when you've got the right people with the right work ethic, you can do some great things. And I'm looking for our kids to do some great things.
Going back to the mound, how's the rotation coming together? Is there a Friday night starter that you've got pegged, or where are the innings coming from?
Yeah, so they're probably going to be new from the starting rotation. We've got a young man from Germany that did great in junior college out of Texas, Titus von Kopf, and he has done a great job for us this fall. Mason Tibbs out of a junior college in Illinois. We've got some really, really great left-handers, and I love left-handers, and we haven't had that in the past. So we've got some guys that can kind of complement what Tyler Henshaw does, and we've added so much depth. So I think the starting rotation is going to be it's still up for grabs. Like I said, Matt Gallant is coming back off of an injury, and I don't think that we're going to be the same team at the end of the year on the mound that we will be in the beginning of the year. I think people are going to grow and develop, and Matt's pitch count will get up, and if all things consider and go well, Matt, he's going to be on a pitch count early, but he won't be on a pitch count late. So looking forward to the growth of that, and some of these guys have never been through a 56-game Division I schedule, so that's our job to grow them, and I think that as we grow, we'll look differently at the end.
Looking at the season, it all gets underway February 13th. Bucknell, tell us about the non-conference schedule this year and what folks should know about it.
Well, we play the Gamecocks, so we'll go down there and we'll play them early. That's always a great game. Play the SEC and you get to a big stadium. We play Georgia Southern on the road and at home, which is great. We've never had those guys at our park, so I'm looking forward to that. We play University of North Florida, just to name a few. We have Elon again, so we're in the CAA again, and of course, I mean, you can take the big names out when you get to Charleston, and you've got 3 Division I teams within 15 miles of each other, and the CFC and Citadel and Charleston Southern have some pretty good rivalries, and it's a pretty heated game on a Tuesday, I can tell you that. So they're looking forward to it. We are as well, but those are games that have your antennas up for us. So. Maybe not the names, but definitely the antennas are up when you play in-city rivals.
Well, we're excited to see it in action. We wish you and all the Buccaneers the best of luck this season, and we thank you for watching another edition of our Big South preview for this baseball season in 2026.